There's a very distinct difference between motivation and discipline. Now, I'm sure you knew that, but everybody talks about how discipline is so much more important than motivation because you need to make sure to do all the hard things on the days that you don't feel like doing it. But why exactly is it so important? So, I wanted to dive a little bit deeper on this topic of discipline. I wanted to explain why discipline is actually so important. I'm going to use a running analogy real quick. So, for long distance runners, there's this concept of a runner's high that you kind of get after running a certain number of miles. It's very different for everybody. It's basically when you keep on running, you get super tired, but you kind of keep on pushing yourself, and then eventually your body just gives in, and then you get this euphoric feeling that's called runner's high, and you kind of keep on going based off of that, and then your entire headspace also changes because of that runner's high. You feel so much more motivated. You feel momentum going your way. And it's a great feeling if you've ever experienced it. But how exactly do we get that momentum going in the first place? How exactly do we get to that runner's high point? You see, the work before that, it's a grueling process of just running and running when you feel tired, when you feel exhausted, when you feel like your legs cannot take anymore. And you kind of just have to keep on pushing yourself through that. You can't just sit down and relax because that'll basically break the cycle and you'll never get to that point or that euphoric feeling of a runner's high. So you have to keep on pushing yourself. And then in those moments, that is where discipline matters. That's what discipline is going to get you. See, discipline is basically just ignoring whatever you want right now so you can get something better tomorrow. And right now, while you're running, you might need a break. You might want a break. You might want a sip of water. You might want to just sit down and basically just quit. You might want to quit basically when you're half a mile into your 1 mile run. And you cannot, because you need the discipline and you need the commitment to run that 1 mile. So tomorrow you can have the body that you actually want. You can have the cardio, the stamina, or whatever it really is that you're actually desiring from running. And I'm just using running as an example. You can literally apply this to any facet of your life. Discipline is basically just every single thing that you told yourself that you were going to do today so that tomorrow you can actually eat the fruits of your labor. And that's really all that it is. Discipline is just this commitment that you need to make to yourself to really just achieve anything at all. I've mentioned this before in my channel as well in one of my videos, is that your passion is not always going to be your passion. There are going to be days where whatever you're passionate about is going to seem extremely grueling. You're not going to want to do it, but you still keep on doing it. And why? It's because of discipline. You need to make sure that you're actually disciplined to achieve the dreams and the goals that you actually set out for yourself to do. It's this commitment that you have to make for yourself, regardless of however you feel, regardless of however much energy that you actually have throughout the day, and regardless of whatever is going on in your life. That is why discipline is so important. It's important to always do the things that are hardest for you when you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Going back to the runner's analogy, when runners are about to hit the runner's high, it's probably their lowest point in that run. And then they keep on grinding through that, they keep on going through that, and eventually that's when they get their second wind. Second wind is really just another term for the runner's high. It's this euphoric feeling, and you keep on pushing yourself to that point. And discipline is also very important, especially when you have all of these thoughts of it's never going to work out. All of your insecurities and all of your anxieties are coming up and saying that what's the point of running? You're never going to see the results that you actually want. What's the point of really doing anything? You're never going to feel okay. That is why discipline is there, because motivation is very, very dependent on your emotional state. You're not going to have a string of 30 good days in a row. You're probably going to have one or two or maybe even five bad days in those 30 days. But do you and have you actually committed to your dreams? Have you committed to the discipline that you need to show to achieve your dreams? And that's really all that matters. Look, I cannot guarantee that life is always going to work out for you. I just can't. I don't have the power to. I wish that I did, but unfortunately, I just don't. And you need the discipline to get through that tunnel, especially when you don't see that light. So keep on pushing, keep on going, and stop using motivation. And instead of using motivation, build habits of discipline instead, because that is what is going to push you through whenever you do not feel motivated. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And this was Yusha, and this was episode number 111 of the Daily Lessons podcast. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.